Who's up late? Who's up late? If you don't get the broadcast tonight, you'll get the playback. Shalom, 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 yasha'Allah. All praise to the Most High, Mashiach Yahweh Shai again. Ashar Yawam Yahawada Makwabaf. Happy day of Judas Maccabees' destruction of Nicanor, 2025. First Maccabees, the 7th chapter. Second Maccabees, chapters 14 and 15. Shalom, family. Before I get started, all praise to the Most High, Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Don't forget, you can still order your 2025 feast day calendars. You can still order your 2025 feast day calendars. Email me at houseofisraelnyc@gmail.com. You can still order your feast day 2025 calendars. We only in March. We got 10 whole months left. Order your feast day calendars. There's still time, Israel. Still got 10 whole months left in the year. Also, email me at houseofisraelnyc@gmail.com to get your free flyer calendar that you can print out and have for yourself in your home. All right, don't forget that. Also, don't forget Passover is coming up. All right. Well, tonight is a day of Judas Maccabees / destruction of Nicanor, and tomorrow sundown, the 12th, and Thursday sundown, the 13th, is day 1 and day 2 of the Feast of Nicanor. Shalom, the message, Abiyah, Shalom. Right? The day 1 and day 2 of Purim. So these 3 days in a row, tonight, the 11th, so-called 11th sundown, the 12th sundown, and the 13th sundown, we celebrate 3 days of death and destruction and vengeance, violent vengeance against our enemies. All right? And I'm going to just touch on that tonight. So, also, Passover's coming up. Friday, April 11th. All right? Passover's coming up. Friday, April 11th, 2025 at even. Friday, April 11th at 2025 at even. All right? H.O.I, Illinois. It is a 4-day weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Meet and greet Thursday. Passover Friday. Unity camp on a Shabbat Saturday. And Sunday unity gathering, cookout, or we filling out some different plans to do around the city of Chicago. We'll have that announcement soon, ASAP. All praise to the Most High Yahweh Shai. So we're just gonna get right into it tonight, Israel. So tonight is the feast of Judas Maccabees. We like to call it the Feast of Judas Maccabees because we like to name it after our forefather. It's known as the destruction or the day of Nicanor in history because it was Nicanor's destruction. He was a Greek general, like the scriptures say in First Maccabees, the 7th chapter. He bare deadly hatred against Israel. And this was during the Greek Inquisition when they was rising up against the Israelites to destroy us as a people. But tonight, I want to approach it, do a little something different. So in years past, we got lessons on the Feast of Judas Maccabees we've done in the past. Y'all can read First Maccabees chapter 7 and Second Maccabees chapters 14 and 15 respectively. All right. So tonight I want to get into the vengeance of violence. All right. Because a lot of you Christians, a lot of people that claim they know the Bible and things of that nature, you say, oh, God is a God of love. He don't believe in killing. Or, a lot of you, right? A lot of you, you Christians say, oh, well, we deal with the New Testament because the God of the Old Testament is a bloody, violent God. Right? But the God of the Old Testament is the same God of the New Testament. Yahweh, or whom you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, is the Son of God. He's the representation. He's an ambassador of God, like we are ambassadors of Christ. AOC. All right. But the Heavenly Father is the Heavenly Father, and the Son is the Son. That's why in Colossians 3 it says, where Christ sits on the right hand of the Father. I'm sitting right here. Somebody's sitting on the right hand of me. We're not the same person. We're two separate entities because they're sitting on the right hand with me. On your right hand also could mean you're in agreement, right? The Father and the Son are in agreement, but they are two separate entities. All right. But tonight, what I want to go into is this feast day that we celebrate. All right. Judas Maccabees. All right. It's a feast and a celebration of vengeance, right? Well, Salakia, y'all, I have to imagine being up at this hour, you're gonna run into some of the weirdos. But anyway, we're gonna stay focused. I just want to get right into my lesson. It's late, early, depending on where you at, what part of the world you in. Some of y'all are starting your day probably, but it's late in the U.S. 1 in the morning on the West Coast. I'm on the West Coast. 4 in the morning on the East Coast. 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, Mountain and Central, right? But tonight, what we're gonna get into is the vengeance of violence, because a lot of you need to understand that the God of the Bible does believe in violence, but he believes in righteous violence. He believes in vengeance, right? Genesis 9 and 6 says, 6 and 9, Salakia, whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man's hand shall his blood be shed also. Right? So, the God of the Bible, right, is a God of vengeance, and he believes in violence. All right. But let's start with what we're celebrating tonight. But like I said, y'all homework is 1 Maccabees chapter chapter 7 and 2 Maccabees 14-15. But we're going to start with 2 Maccabees 15 and 26. Y'all homework, we got other videos on this feast day where we read the whole chapter. We broke the whole story down. I want to get right to this point real quick. All right. This is 2 Maccabees 15 and 26. It says, but Judas and his company encountered the enemies with invocation and prayer. So now, just to set the stage here, what's going on? Judas and the Maccabees and the Maccabean revolt, the Israelite revolt against the Greek Inquisition, they're fighting a Greek general by the name of Nicanor and his army. And they're extremely outnumbered. So what they're doing is they're invoking the Heavenly Father, the God of Israel. They calling on him. That's what invoking is. They were calling on the Most High to intercede for them. And they were praying to him and calling on him to send the angels down to help them defeat these Greeks, to give them the vengeance of violence against these Greeks. All right, because they were trying to commit violence on them. They were committing violence on many believing Jews, right? They were killing them. They were killing women for circumcising their children. All right, so right here, they're calling on God to give them power to fight their enemies. All right, y'all, like I say, y'all can read 1 Maccabees chapter 7 and 2 Maccabees 14-15 to bring you up to speed. I just want to get right to the point and connect some scriptures with this latter part of 2 Maccabees 15 here. 2 Maccabees 15:27. So that fighting with their hands and praying unto the Most High power with their hearts, they slew no less than 30 and 5,000 men. For through the appearance of the Most High, they were greatly cheered. See that? Through the Lord appearing and giving them power to be able to fight and defeat their enemies, they were greatly cheered. And you see that? The vengeance of violence, you can cheer over that. You can celebrate over that. That's what we're doing tonight. As we're going to read down, we're celebrating the vengeance of violence tonight. All right. 2 Maccabees 15:28. Now, when the battle was come, returning again. All right. Now, when the battle was done, returning again with joy, they knew that Nicanor lay dead in his harness. Nicanor was the first one to get killed in the war, and he was dead in his harness, and he was the general. Like they say, take out the head and the body falls, right? So in this war, what happened? Nicanor was first killed. So now when his army and his company knew that he lay dead in the harness, then they made a great shout. Salakia, Israel, they made a great shout and a noise, praising the Almighty in their own language. Kwam Yashala, right? Means arise, Israel. I don't know if that was exactly what they saying, but they was praising the Most High in their own language, which is the ancient Paleo Hebrew. They were probably throwing out all kinds of war chants in the Paleo Hebrew, praising the Most High because the vengeance of violence had taken place. The righteous vengeance of violence have taken place. All right. It said, and Judas, who was ever the defender of the citizens, both in body and mind. It says, Judas Maccabees, an Israelite from the tribe of Levi, was ever the defender of his own citizens, meaning his own people. There's nothing wrong with being a racist in the Bible. We got 12 people in here, 3 likes. Get the likes up, y'all. Let the likes match the people that's in here. There's not a lot of people, a lot of weirdos up at this hour, but hey, it is what it is, all right? But the Lord's word don't take a break for nobody or nothing, all right? The Lord said he have set watchmen upon the walls which shall never hold their peace day nor night, all right? So it says, reading on, and Judas, who was ever the chief defender of the citizens, both in body and mind, and who continued his love toward his countrymen, see that, toward his own countrymen all his life. So throughout your whole life, there's nothing wrong with being for your own people. And we celebrate the righteous vengeance of violence tonight against those that want to be violent against Israel. The Lord allowed us to turn it on them and be violent against them and destroy them. Right? That's what we're going to celebrate tomorrow. Tomorrow is the first day of Purim, all praise to the Most High. And we celebrate the destruction of Haman and his 10 sons and all the enemies of Israel that wanted to commit genocide on us during the Persian Empire, during our great sister Esther and our brother Mordecai. So it's okay to celebrate the vengeance of violence. All right? Right? Busy bees. I'm not talking about you, brother. I said there's a lot of, yes, I just said that. I said some of y'all are probably up getting ready for work. I didn't say everybody's a weirdo at this hour. All right? I'm up at this hour. I'm a night person. You know, I'm a day person when I have to be, but I'm a night person. So I'm not saying everybody, if the shoe don't fit, don't wear it. I said there's a lot of weirdos on here. All right? So I'm not talking about people that's up going away. Yeah, I know people get up 4 o'clock in the morning. I used to get up 2 o'clock in the morning to go to work. 1 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? When I worked a crazy schedule. So if the shoe don't fit, don't wear it. Right? Mathematics, you can get your dumb creep ass up out of here. All right, get out of here. All right. So we're going to read on. We're just going to get right down to business, all right? It says, his love toward his countrymen all his life, commanded to strike off Nicanor's head and his hand with his shoulder and bring them to Jerusalem. So he said, not only is he dead, we killed him, but cut off his head, cut off his arm, his right arm, and bring him to Jerusalem. You know why? Because when you read earlier in 2 Maccabees 15 and in 1 Maccabees 7, Nicanor stretched out his hand. Being a Greek general, he came and said he's going to destroy the Hebrew Inquisition against the Greeks. He's going to destroy the Hebrew resistance against the Greeks. And he stretched out his hand. And he said he was going to burn the temple down to the ground. So that same arm, that right arm, like Hitler and like what's the other guy, Elon Musk? Elon Musk did the Heil Hitler song, signal recently. He said he was stretching his heart out in love. No, He thought that was a damn Hail Hitler. But back then, see, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. These are all Edomites, so-called white people. So back then, Nicanor stretched out his right arm, probably the same way that Hitler did. Hitler probably got it from Nicanor and said he gonna burn the temple to the ground, right? Because he hated Israel. It tells you, like I quote again, he bare deadly hatred towards Israel. When you read First Maccabees 7, right? So reading on, it said, and bring them to Jerusalem. So when he was there and had called them of his nation together and set the priests before the altar, he sent for them that were of the tower and showed them vile Nicanor's head and the hand of the blasphemer, which with proud brags he had stretched out against the holy temple of the Almighty. With proud brags, he stretched out his hand and said he was going to burn the temple of the Most High to the ground. And now the Most High got him mocked. He died in a battle. His head got chopped off, and that same right arm got chopped off. So when you understand the vengeance of violence, a lot of times the vengeance of violence, the Lord be making mockery of his enemies, right? So the righteous vengeance of violence is in the Bible, all right? Reading on, it says, verse 33, and when he had cut out the tongue of that ungodly Nicanor, and he cut his tongue out. Why did he cut his tongue out? Because what? He kept running his damn mouth. And it tells you in Proverbs, I believe it's Proverbs 13:3, we don't have to get it, death and life are in the power of the tongue. So a lot of times you got to watch your words. Be careful. Right? And even Israel, not just because he was an Edomite, Israelites too, we got to watch our words. All right? Because the Most High will make you eat them words. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. You run your fat damn mouth and be proud, and the Most High will humble you. So let's be careful with that, Israel. All right? So it says, so every man, Shalakia, verse 33 again, 2 Maccabees 15:33. And when he had cut out the tongue of that ungodly Nicanor, he commanded that they should give it by pieces unto the fowls and hang up the reward of his madness toward the temple. Cut out his tongue. Cut out his tongue and fed it to the fowls. Right? That was mockery within itself. You know what they were saying to Nicanor? Eat your words. Because what did they do? They fed his tongue to the fowls. So the fowls ate his tongue. Right? They ate his words, or it's symbolic to him eating his words. So they mocked him. Right? Vengeance of violence. All right. It says, verse 34, so every man prays toward the heaven, the glorious power Yahweh, saying, blessed be he that have kept his own place undefiled. He hanged also Nicanor's head upon the tower, an evident and manifest sign unto all of the help of Yahweh. So when he hung up his head, it was symbolic to what? It was symbolic to mockery of Nicanor and also showing the power of the Most High. A man can curse the Most High power of Israel and curse the temple and his people, and the Most High can have that man be put to death and mocked. So all of this is really to show the power of the Most High, to show his righteous vengeance of violence. All right. It says, and they ordained with all right. Salakia, verse 36. And they ordained all with the common decree in no case to let that day pass without solemnity. All right. So it's a solemn day to be added to the calendar of festivals and celebrations of the nation of Israel. All right. And they ordained all with a common decree in no case to let that day pass without solemnity, but to celebrate the 13th day of the 12th month, which in the Syrian tongue is called the Dar, the day before Mordecai's day. Mordecai's day is another day for Purim. You can read the book of Esther, chapter 10, in the Bible, and it tells you Mordecai was exalted in the Persian Empire. That's why the Feast of Purim also became known as Mordecai's Day. Even though the story was based upon Esther becoming queen of the Persian Empire, but Mordecai was a significant character in elevating her and guiding her and counseling her what to do to influenced the Persian king to set the Israelites free and allow us to commit righteous violence and the vengeance of violence against our enemies. All of them enemies of the heathen that was that Haman had instigated to try to commit genocide on Israel. That's what you read when you read the book of Esther. All those heathens were destroyed and killed, 75,000 of them. And Haman the Edomite and his 10 sons was hung on gallows because they wanted to exterminate and commit genocide on the children of Israel. So the Lord had the vengeance of violence come upon their own head. All right, that's the story we'll read about tomorrow and Thursday. Most I will. All right. So 2 Maccabees 15:36 with Esther, the 10th chapter in the Bible. It says, thus went it with Nicanor, and from that time forth the Hebrews had the city in their power. And here will I make an end. So once they defeated the cancer of the earth, all right, once they got rid of the cancer of the earth, what happened? The Hebrews took the city back and was in righteousness. All right. It says, and if I have done well and is as fitting the story, it is that which I desired. But if slenderly and meanly, it is that which I could attain unto. Meaning, the history of the Maccabees was written to the best of the information that the author had from the story. All right. If anything, he's saying, if anything was left out, it's not my fault. This is all the information I was able to gather. There may be other parts of the history, but this is what I gathered to tell a story. All right. For as it is hurtful to drink wine or water alone, and as wine mingled with water is pleasant and delighteth the taste, even so speech finely framed delighteth the ears of them that read the story, and here shall be an end. Meaning, a lot of times, you know, when you tell a story in the right way, in the right spirit, what happens? People get to absorb and enjoy that story and understand and learn the history because you told it properly in the spirit. So that's what's being said here by the author of Maccabees. So from there, let's go to 1 Samuel 17. All right, 1 Samuel 17, and we're going to start at 50. All right, I believe it is. Let me make sure that's what I want. Let me make sure that's what I want. All right. All right. Let me see. 2 Samuel 17 and 50. Yeah. I'm gonna read that. 2 Samuel 17 and 50. Somebody put 2 Kings 2:23 to 25. Yeah, that's what Elijah, when the children said, go up thou bald head, go up thou bald head. All right. Yeah, we don't have to get it, Brother Travis P. 2 Kings chapter 2, verses 23 to 25. When the Most High sent the she-bears to tear 42 children in pieces because they were mocking a man of the Lord. That was the vengeance of violence. The Lord used the animals. The Lord can use anything. The rain, the storm, the tornado, anything, the earthquake for the vengeance of violence, all right? All right, 1 Samuel 17 and 50. So David prevailed over the Philistine with a sling and with a stone and smote the Philistine and slew him, but there was no sword in the hand of David. So y'all can read 1 Samuel chapter 16 and verse 17, David and Goliath. All right, that's a classic story in the Bible. Even your Christian grandmother knew that story. They always talk about the Old Testament, but they know about David and Goliath. All right. And like I always like to point out, like in the movie 300, when the Spartans fought the Persian immortals and they had that big giant with them, to me, I feel like in Hollywood, they were like kind of imitating the story of David and Goliath. Because Leonidas, the Spartan general, he chopped off the big Persian immortal, the giant Persian immortal's head as he was fighting them. All right, maybe It has something to do with it, maybe not. But I think Hollywood kind of threw that in there like as an imitation of the story of David and Goliath. But anyway, therefore David ran, 1 Samuel 17:51. Therefore David ran and stood upon the Philistine and took his sword and drew it out of the sheath thereof and slew him, right? Vengeance of violence. And cut off his head therewith. And with the when the Philistines saw their champion was dead, they fled. When they saw the Most High put Goliath to death, their giant and their champion. That's what they call Goliath. They call them the champion of the Philistines. All right. So when they saw that he was dead, because he talked crap about David, he was like, this little shepherd boy, you know, he's but a youth and ruddy. He's a young, good-looking man. He's not a man that looks like a warrior. Man, how am I gonna fight him? This guy is nothing. See that? Most High mocked him, right? And he also got vengeance on the Philistines for coming against Israel. All right, read the history. Read 1 Samuel. It'll tell you the story. And the men of Israel and of Judah arose and shouted and pursued the Philistines until thou come to the valley and to the gates of Ekron. And the wounded of the Philistines fell down by the way to Sharim, even unto Gath and unto Ekron. And the children of Israel returned from chasing after the Philistines, and they spoiled their tents. And David took the head of the Philistine and brought it to Jerusalem, but he put his armor in his tent. So it sounds familiar. It said David brought the head of Goliath, his enemy. Goliath was a Hamite, a so-called African, right? And what happened? David was from the tribe of Judah of the nation of Israel. So David would be a so-called African-American today, or a so-called Negro in America, and Goliath would be a Hamite African. And I'm going to hit you with something. That the natural Africans know that the black Americans are not their people. So we fought our enemies and we defeated them. And the Most High gave us the power to get righteous vengeance of violence against our enemies. All right? So he said he brought Goliath's head to Jerusalem. All right? And when Saul saw David go forth against the Philistine, he said unto Abner, the captain of the host, Abner, whose son is this youth? And Abner said, as thy soul liveth, O king, I cannot tell. And the king said, inquire thou whose son the stripling is, like this young man is. And as David returned from the slaughter of the Philistine, Abner took him and brought him before Saul with the head of the Philistine in his hand. Sound familiar? Same thing we just read in 2 Maccabees 15, 26 through 39. So our forefathers was warriors, man. One of our forefathers, a Levite, Judas, chopped off an Edomite Nicanor's head. Another one of our forefathers, David, a Judite, chopped off a so-called African's head. We wasn't playing with these other nations. And that was all the power of the Most High. The scriptures say, blessed be the Lord, I think it's Psalms 144, that teacheth my hands the war and my fingers to fight. So that's all by the power of the Most High. Jeremiah 51:20, the Lord said, thou art my battle axe and weapons of war, which you I'm going to use to break the nations in pieces. See that? So the Lord is the righteous judge and a righteous vengeance by violence. He does vengeance by violence, and he uses his people a lot of time. Sometimes he uses Esau and the other nations. There's no man more violent on the earth than the so-called white man, and he's violent in wickedness. All right, you getting out of here, Minium. All right, you come up here trolling, you're going to get blocked. All right, but anyway, back to the fact of the matter. It says, and Saul said to him, whose son art thou, thou young man? And David answered, I am the son of thy servant Jesse the Bethlehemite. So he said, hey, Jesse's my dad. All right, but the same thing, David committed righteous violence and vengeance upon Goliath, just like Judas Maccabees did with Nicanor. All right, let's go to some examples of the so-called white man. He's the violent man of the earth. All right, didn't he rape, rob, and murder and destroy all nations? Right? Peachy, Sweeting. Okay, got to get rid of you. We're going to go to Matthews 11 and 11. Let's go to Matthew 11 and 11. All right. Let's go to Matthew chapter 11 and verse 11. Yeah, Khan, Brother Abiel. Yeah, see that? So Bible believes in the vengeance of violence. All right. St. Matthew 11 and 11. It said, verily I say unto you, among them that are born of women, there have not risen a greater than John the Baptist. Now, I want y'all to examine something here, right? Not to go off topic, but yet on topic. The debate of immaculate conception or the virgin birth, right? They use Galatians 4 and 4 a lot of times. Christ was born made of a woman made under the law. They try to use that to say Yahushua Christ didn't have a father because, see, it says made of a woman, made under the law. But check this out. Yahushua saying the same thing right here himself. It says, verily I say unto you, among them that are born of women, there have not risen a greater than John the Baptist. So when it said in Galatians, made of a woman, meaning he came through a woman like any other man. He came through a woman's womb. That don't mean like Mary made Christ herself, because that wouldn't make sense with your virgin birth. Because the doctrine of the virgin birth is the Most High God put the seed in Mary. So that even still with that, that wouldn't mean that Mary made Christ herself. We know in Genesis 30, Jacob had to rebuke, I believe it was Rachel, because she said, give me children, lest I die. And he rebuked and said, I'm not in the Most High stead. We commit the act, but he's the one that allowed you to get pregnant. So when it said made or born of a woman, it just simply means Christ, Yahushua, like any other man, came through the womb of a woman. That's how men are born into the earth, even kings and leaders. All right, like Solomon said, no man on the earth have any other entrance. All right, no man has any other entrance into life. So, again, with the whole virgin birth, we know the Lord can do whatever he want to do, but he had Joseph lay with Mary to bring forth Christ. If you don't agree with that, we respectfully disagree. When Yahushua come back, he'll tell us how he was born. But we, H.O.I, coming out of the original One West doctrine, we believe Joseph and Mary had intercourse, and he put his seed in Mary to bring forth Christ. All right, Yahushua. It says, among them that are born of women, there have not risen a greater than John the Baptist. Notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. So Yahushua was letting the disciples know you're going to do great works, and when you come back in the future, because yes, we also believe in regeneration, or what society calls reincarnation. It's regeneration. It just simply means to live again. All right, but right here, it says, he shall be the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence. Why did it say the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence? Because Israel, we are the kingdom of heaven. Like Yahushua said, the kingdom is within you. It said the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and the violent take it by force. What was Esau blessed with? The sword. He came to the west coast of Africa and took us. All right. What about people that say the gospel was changed after Mark? What about them? You got to be more specific. The gospels are the accounts of the different apostles. Like, just like if the New York Times, LA Times, New York Post, and Daily News write an article about the two planes that crashed, the helicopter and the plane that crashed in D.C., they're not going to say the exact same words. They're going to write it in their words the best way they witness or from witness accounts of the story. It's not going to say the exact same thing. So I don't know if that's where you're going with it, but the gospel changed after Mark. What are you talking about? All right, it says, for all the prophets and the law prophesied until John. Verse 14, and if you receive it, this is Elias, which was for to come. Yahushua is going into regeneration. All right. He said Elijah must come. Elijah got regenerated through John the Baptist. Same spirit, different body and time frame. But if you don't believe in regeneration, reincarnation, fine. We respectfully disagree. You don't have to be mockery, pride. If we're going to debate it, we should debate it with the intent to learn something and get edified. And if you still stick to the way you believe things, you say, okay, I at least respect and understand your viewpoint. All right. Verse 15, he that have ears to hear, let him hear. That's why Yahweh said that. Right. All right. He was both. They seen him as a prophet and a son of the Most High. All right. That's what he was seen as. All right. The scriptures give him both titles. Right. Verse 15. He that have ears to hear, let him hear. Meaning what? And this is the book of Matthew, written in red letters starting at verse 7. Matthew chapter 11, starting at verse 7. Right. That Yahweh is speaking here. So what Yahweh is speaking here is his words. He that have ears to hear, let him hear. Meaning if you can get understanding, then you can get understanding. Oh, wow, it's 144 now, 244,000. Because the true understanding of the Bible is only for the 144,000. You can't make this up. It's 144 on the clock. All right, so, but my point being to verse 12, the violent take it by force. All right, the Esau, what did they do? They took us by force and put us on slave ships. They took us during the Roman Empire, right, and enslaved us. They had us under the ancient Roman Empire. They were violent towards us. So their end is going to be violence. All right, let's prove that. We're going to hold that. Let's go to Revelation 18 and 21. Esau got the earth by violence, so violence is going to be his vengeance. All right, Revelation 18 and 21. And it reads, thus and so. All right, the violent took us by force. So let's link that up. Let's precept that. Revelation 18, and we're going to start at 20. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for Yahweh hath avenged you on her. Avenge means to take vengeance for. Right? Who's going to bring the vengeance of violence? The Most High. He's going to avenge us. He's the one that believes in the vengeance of violence. That's what we're celebrating, the vengeance of violence, these next 3 days. Tonight, Judas Maccabees defeating Nicanor and the Greeks. Tomorrow and Thursday, Esther and Mordecai defeating the Macedonians, the Greeks also, and all the other heathens in the Persian Empire. All right? The Most High is going to avenge us on her. Luke 21 and 7 says, shall not the Most High avenge his own elect? All right. We got a lot of trolls over here tonight. I'm blocking them though. All right. Blocking the trolls. But somebody told me sometimes leave the trolls. They help the algorithm. But I just don't want to see nonsense. Right. Wake up, Israel. Shalom. Tuning in from the UK, Khan. So verse 21, Revelation 18:21. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down and shall be found no more at all. And this is great Babylon, America. So we just read in St. Matthew, the violent take it by force, right? So Esau, what did they do? And the other nations, y'all seen the movie The Woman King? It show you in that movie The Woman King, the Africans, the Arabs, and a white man was together selling the Israelites off the west coast of Africa. All right, but Esau, the so-called white man, is the main culprit. But it says, by violence, Babylon is going to be thrown down and shall be found no more at all in thee. So America is going to be totally destroyed by nuclear fire. It's going to look like the movie, what's the movie with Denzel? When he was blind and he was, the Book of Eli. It's going to look like that 10 times over. Burnt to a nuclear crisp. All right? And it's going to be destroyed with violence because they committed violence. Matthew 11 and 12. Yeah, Book of Eli at the water. All right? So it says, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down and shall be found no more at all. America, you was built on violence. You raped, you robbed, you murdered, you slaughtered the Native American Indian. So now the vengeance of violence is coming to you. And that's what we celebrate tonight, tomorrow, and Thursday. And we're going to celebrate it looking forward to the vengeance of violence against America. All right? We're going to go from there. Proverbs 16 and 29. Because Esau, the so-called white man, is the true violent man. But now it's time for his violence to come upon him. Come back upon him. Proverbs 16 and 29. It says, a violent man enticeth his neighbor and leadeth him into the way that is not good. See, Esau, he was blessed with the sword. He was a murderer from the beginning. He's a man of blood. A lot of like the thugs and the gangsters. A lot of our brothers, they get that from watching the old mob movies. Y'all remember the movie Juice? Tupac was watching the old, I think, Humphrey Bogart movies. Made it, man, top of the world. And then that's when he spazzed out on Q and was like, he took his destination into his own hands. We run from everybody. Right? Okay, Keith Robo. And Keith Robian, what's your nationality? What's your ethnicity? But anyway, we'll get to you later. I want to get through my lesson. It's just a couple more scriptures. But my point being, like these rappers, they name themselves after white gangsters. Right? May the brother rest in peace. Well, if he was a brother, Irv Gotti. They said Irv Gotti is like Filipino and black. I don't know if his father's Filipino and his mother's black or whatever. Either way. Right? And I think Jay-Z or somebody told him, yo, don't pick that name. And they was like, Irv Gotti was really not a gangster. He knew Supreme and the brothers from Southside Queens, but he himself was not a gangster, but he wanted to name himself Gotti. All right, or Raekwon, he's the Meyer Lansky of rap. Biggie, Frank White. Nas Escobar. Well, Pablo Escobar, I think he's Northern Kingdom. But anyway, drive-by shootings. Drive-by shootings come from the so-called white men, come from the gangster days. Watch the old mob movies and the old American early Once Upon a Time in America. That was Esau doing that. Then we adopted it. Then the black gangsters adopted it, or so-called gangsters. Right? So, you know, a violent man entices. A lot of the violence we do against each other as a people, we imitate the so-called white man. Yeah, it's our self-hatred also, and the curses on us, but a lot of it, you know what I'm saying? Yo, Lou Diamond, or whatever the hell they call them. Call themselves after these white mobsters. Because a violent man enticeth his neighbor and leadeth him into the way that is not good. A lot of this violence in the earth comes from the so-called white man. And now our people adapt it. All right? So from there, let's go to the book of Obadiah. All right? Let's go to the book of Obadiah. No, matter of fact, before we get there, let's go to, let's get some more examples of violence, all right, of the violent nature of man, and let's get another beheading out of the Bible, right? So we don't look like the bad guys. Let's get another beheading out of the Bible, Matthew 14 and 3. Since we're reading about the beheadings, I was meditating on this earlier. I was like, you know, if you really look at it, these next 3 days, we're celebrating violence. But what kind of violence? The vengeance of violence. Righteous violence from the Most High. Righteous vengeance and violence from the Most High. You know, so St. Matthew 14:3. For Herod had laid hold on John and bound him and put him in prison for Herodias' sake, his brother Philip's wife. Because John had rebuked Herod for he had tension with his brother Philip, and he took his wife and left his wife and married her. Right? So John the Baptist rebuked him. He didn't give a damn if he was Herod. He rebuked him for it. Right? Verse 3, for John said unto him, it is not lawful for thee to have her. And when he would have put him to death, he feared the multitude because they counted him as a prophet. People have respect for John the Baptist, you know. He was the forerunner of H.O.I, right? It says, but when Herod's birthday was kept, the daughter of Herodias danced before them and pleased Herod. I want to point out something too here about birthdays. A lot of Israel used this scripture to say, see, the Most High condemns birthdays. That's not what's going on here. Now, I'm not, before anybody gets simple, let me put up my disclaimer. I know there is a shalom. I hope y'all enjoyed the service, man. I couldn't make it tonight, man. I got the children. I'm like single dad mode when I'm out here visiting my children, so I got a lot on my plate. But Most High will, I see y'all for the closing, if the Most High say the same. All right, but now, before, like I said, before anybody gets simple, let me put up my disclaimer. I'm not advocating for birthdays. I'm not saying let's go have a big bash, whatever. Me personally, I don't really have an issue with birthdays as far as giving thanks to the Most High for letting you see another year. Some of the customs go back to heathen traditions, but if you want to thank the Most High for letting you see another year, if you want to have a drink, good food to eat, even be with family and friends, me personally, I don't see no sin in that. Right now, I might call it World War III with that statement. Oh, God, the elder justifying birthdays. No, I'm not saying that. But I just don't see, I just don't see it like a lot of other Hebrews are, to me, a little over righteous and over strict when it comes to birthdays. And that's from these pagan books that y'all reading with the pagan rituals and ceremonies surrounded around birthdays. I get that. I understand that. So I don't sound like I'm contradicting. We have brothers in H.O.I that have made lessons about the paganism of certain things during birthday celebrations, right? I don't have no issue with that. You have camps that celebrate, have birthday parties and all that. I don't have an issue with that. It's between them and the Most High, right? But right here, I'ma humbly say, I don't see that way. This is not about, see, it was his birth. No. The reason why the Most High did this during his birthday season was to make mockery. That's what it was. It was to make mockery. But right here, right, I'm going to read it. Well, it was not in this situation, but in certain situations where judgment came upon heathens, not this situation, Salakia, correction. Certain situations where judgments came upon heathens on their birthdays or on when they would celebrate, that was judgment from the Most High. All right, that's really what's going on. Now here, this is just an example of, well, let me read it. It's going to say, but when Herod's birthday was kept, the daughter of Herodias danced before them and pleased Herod. So it was he was having a birthday celebration and she danced before him and pleased him, right? Whereupon he promised with an oath to give me his head on a platter. All right? But it just so happened to be birthday, and because she danced for him and pleased her, he gave her any requests. It's not saying because it was his birthday, that's why he beheaded John the Baptist. No. Right? It's saying that on his birthday celebration, she was dancing before him and it pleased him. It just happened to be his birthday. It could have been any day. They could have been sacrificing to a damn Roman god on another day. And he still would have beheaded, he would have beheaded John the Baptist. They didn't wait till their birthdays to do something wicked. Esau was wicked all around. Esau don't wait till his birthday to be violent against our people. So that's all I'm saying. The birthday thing here was, it just so happened to be a birthday celebration. And a lot of brothers and sisters will say, well, see, it was a heathen celebrating his birthday. Yeah. But this just so happened because Herodias' daughter pleased him with her dancing. All right, so he said, I'll give you anything. Now, she could have danced before him any day. All right, it just happened to be his so-called birthday. All right, let me clear that up. But other situations in the scriptures where heathens and different stuff got judged on their birthdays, that was a mockery of the Most High. The day I brought you into the earth is the day I took you out, or is the day I punished you or judged you. All right, but it's not about advocating for birthdays and not like that. I'm just giving you a little bit of understanding when the birthday debate comes up in Israel, Salakia. All right, but I don't know. Y'all gonna clutch your pearls and be mad at the elder now. Oh God, the elder justifying birthdays. I can't believe it. I'm unfollowing him. I'm subscribing from the elder. I'm not following H.O.I no more. They justify birthdays. You know how you get Israel. No folly. But and she being before instructed of her mother said, give me here John the Baptist's head in the charger. And the king was sorry. Nevertheless, for the oath's sake, see, he was sorry because he knew the people. He knew the people. Do people take birthdays that seriously? I don't know, brother. I really don't care. It's just something that comes up in Israel, and sometimes it's a debate or whatever. That's about it. You know what I'm saying? You're looking too much into it, brother. Chill out, relax, pump your brakes, sit down, and just keep the laws of the Bible if you're an Israelite. You know, just relax, brother. All right. It says, and the king was sorry. Why was he sorry? Because he knew they took John the Baptist for a prophet. He was like, damn, I don't wanna, behead him. Because a lot of times, what the so-called white man, he's politically correct. He like, damn, I don't wanna, kill him, and then it caused an uproar amongst the Jews. See that? So it says, and he sent and beheaded Salakia. And the king was sorry. Nevertheless, for the oath's sake, and them which sat with him at meat, he commanded it to be given her. And he sent and beheaded John in the prison. See that? So because he said, oh, she danced so good, oh my God, I'll give her anything right now. So they said, listen, go tell him to chop off John the Baptist head. That Negro rebuked us for adultery. I don't like that nigga. Tell him, he said he'll give you anything. He drunk on that wine. He loving the way you dancing in front of him. He'll give you anything right now. He's smitten with your beauty and your dancing. Your dancing is enticing him. Right? Probably was looking at her with lust because Esau is all into that goddamn wild sex and what they call it, incest and all that. Mother and daughter, aunt and mother, all kinds of madness. But anyway, hey babe, close the room door. Close. Make sure both doors is closed. I'm a little loud. But anyway, that's just some, my take on it. Okay, see, what was that? What was what? I don't know. But anyway, let me finish on. And his head was brought in a charger and given to the damsel, and she brought it to her mother. And his disciples came and took up the body and buried it and went and told Yahushua, told Jesus. So they took up John the Baptist. John the Baptist got beheaded violently because of a wicked woman that was mad because he rebuked her for adultery and rebuked Herod. So see that Esau, even their women are violent. Right, tomorrow when we celebrate Purim, if we get that far into the story, when you read about Zeresh, Zeresh was Haman's wife, right? Most likely an Edomite woman also. She told Haman, make some gallows and hang Mordecai. Right? See that? The Esau had the same spirit of hanging us in the ancient time. Nothing new under the sun. And that shows the white woman's the devil also that the Bible speaks of. All right? So right here, she said, look, right? He rebuked us about our adulterous affair. Kill him. I want his head on a platter right now in front of me. You said you'll give me anything. You'll give us anything because my daughter danced so well before you. So Esau and his woman have that violent nature. That's why the vengeance of violence is going to come upon them in these last days. All right. Let's go to Jeremiah 51 and 35. Jeremiah 51 and 35. Yeah. Right. So there was beheadings in the Bible. The Bible gets bloody and violent. Remember Judith. Read the book of Judith in the Apocrypha. Judith was a Simeonite sister, and she rose up during the Babylonian Empire and killed the heathen general, Holofernes, right? She enticed Holofernes, and Holofernes thought she was coming into his tent to sleep, to sleep with him and become his concubine. But she tricked him and got him comfortable and chopped his head off. All right, she beheaded him, right? And I think it's Judith, the 10th chapter. All right, let me see. We don't have to get it, but let me look to make sure. Because this is a short lesson, y'all. I'm not rushing the spirit, but, I just want to come on here and do a little something. No, it's Judah 14 and 10. It tells you when the heathens came and saw Holofernes' headless body in his tent, they started crying and weeping out. And they said, the slaves have killed our general Holofernes. See that? Back then they was calling us slaves. They was even referring to a Dominican woman, a Simeonite woman, so-called Dominican. At least that's what we believe according to the 12 tribes chart. We know everybody and their mama got a different chart. I still haven't seen it, but everybody else got a different chart. Or Negro chart, them Hispanics ain't our people. We understand that. But coming out of the old One West understanding, I still see the chart today. If it's wrong, may Yahweh Shah have mercy on us. We're not purposely letting any heathen nations into our nation. It's not a lust thing. That's the stupidest thing. Not to go off topic, but that's one of the stupidest things you all Negro Israelites say too. And I usually don't get like that. It's whatever. But I just sit back and think about it. I don't always say that, but I'd be like, what the hell are these guys talking about? If for what it's worth, make sure both doors is closed. For what it's worth, me in particular, whether I have one wife or 1,000 wives like Solomon, whatever, I can be content with just a so-called black woman, a Southern Kingdom woman. I'm not trying to make Hispanics and Native Americans and Puerto Ricans make them Israelites because I lust after they women. That's the dumbest damn. Right? We might as well just say, well, you know what? I just like Hispanic Latin women or Indian women, whatever. But we're going to make a whole doctrine just because we want some women? I mean, who does that? So Bivens, Ariada, brothers that go back to One West, that came up with the chart or the understanding. Some of y'all say they made it up, whatever. I never heard that. All right, that's not the story I got, whatever. But men they gonna make, so if that's the case, if a brother coming from out of the world and he like Chinese women, he might as well put Chinese women on his chart. Well, some brothers probably have done that. I've seen all kinds of people say all kinds of people are Israelites. But anyway, I don't want to not to go off topic, but these are just some of the things that the madness that's out here in the nation. But let me get back. Jeremiah 51:35. Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 35. And it reads, thus and so. The violence done to me and to my flesh be upon Babylon, shall an inhabitant of Zion say. See that? And this is the latter chapters of Jeremiah. So this is the future Babylon that it's talking about. But the children of Zion said, the violence done to me and to my flesh be upon Babylon. So the Most High does believe in the vengeance of violence. And you reap what you sow. Right here, Israel said, all the violence. Yeah, you got scoffers in the chat. Yeah, of course you do, right? Crazy Manuel said, are y'all off y'all meds or are you smoking something? Right? Yeah, see, Crazy Manuel is crazy as hell this morning. I ain't gonna even block him. Let Manuel be crazy. All right. He got a name like Crazy Manuel and asking us off we off our meds. Or you can't make this up, but yet his name is Crazy Manuel. You can't make this up. But anyway, back to the quick lesson. Jeremiah 51:35. The violence done to me and to my flesh be upon Babylon, shall the inhabitant of Zion say, and my blood upon the inhabitants of the Chaldea shall Jerusalem say. There you go. So all the violence that's been committed against us, may it come upon all of our enemies. Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Holy Bible. Right? The vengeance of violence. Obadiah 10. All right, Obadiah 10. Let's get that. Obadiah 10, Salakia. Bear with me. Obadiah, that small book in there. There you go. Right? Obadiah 10. This is the prophecy against Esau, of course. All right. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. All right. Salakia. We're going to hold that and let's go to, let me see what I want. Let me see if that's what I want. Go hold. Yeah, Nahum 1 and 2. Nahum chapter 1 verse 2. And it reads, the Most High is jealous and the Lord revengeth. The Lord revengeth and is furious. The Lord will take vengeance on his adversaries and he reserveth wrath for his enemies. See that? So the Lord believes in the vengeance of violence. It's written here in the scriptures. And like the brother quoted the scripture earlier in 2 Kings 2:23-25 with the she-bears tearing the 42 children in pieces because they was mocking a man of the Lord. The Lord used the 2 she-bears as weapons of vengeance and vengeance the violence of vengeance. I mean, the vengeance of violence. Like, yeah. All right. The Lord can use anything. Let's get this one real quick. Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon 7. I want to just get right to the point. Wisdom of Solomon 7:15. Check out what Solomon said. For the Most High have granted me to speak as I would, and to conceive as is meet for the things that are given me, because it is he that leadeth unto wisdom and directeth the wise. For in his hand are both we and our words. All wisdom also and knowledge of workmanship. For he hath given me certain knowledge of the things that are, namely to know how the world was made, and the operation of the elements, the beginning, ending, and the midst of times, the alterations of the turning of the sun and the change of seasons, the circuits of years and the positions of stars, the nature of living creatures, and the furies of wild beasts. There you go. Salakia. A little under the weather, y'all, from that rain today, but I'm okay. Salakia. It says, the natures of living creatures and the furies of wild beasts, the violence of winds. Salakia. The violence of winds, Salakia, and the reasonings of men, the diversities of plants and the virtues of roots, and all such things as are either secret or manifest, them I know. Don't you know Esau have destroyed the earth? So what does the Lord do? The Lord used the earth to do what? Commit the vengeance of violence upon Esau. That's why Solomon said the violence of winds. Don't you know the Lord can use the wind for violence and for vengeance? Tornadoes, storms, hurricanes, right? Category 5. That's the Most High. All right. So that's it on that. Salakia, y'all. Yeah, that's it on that. I just want to show the Most High said the fury of wild beasts and the violence of winds. So in 2 Kings, the 2 she-bears tore the children in pieces. The tornadoes and the storms, they tear up Esau neighborhoods, the fires. Out here in California, the Edison fire, the Thomas fire. They got names for these fires. They tear Esau and his neighborhoods and his communities up. All right. Obadiah 10 again. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Because Esau, according to the 18th verse, Esau is going to be totally exterminated out of the earth. There's going to be a giant bonfire, and a so-called white man going to be wiped out of the earth. All right. So that was Obadiah 1 and 10. All right. And it tells you in we just read in Nahum, right, that the Lord he gets vengeance. All right. And what does the Lord do? Let me see. It says, yeah, I'm going to continue. That's what it was. Wisdom of Solomon 7 and 20 with Nahum 1 and 3. The Lord is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. The Lord have his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. Right? Because we just read, he can use the violence of winds. He can use the storms. So yes, the Most High believes in the vengeance of violence. All right? And the scriptures speak about it. This is very short, but it's tons of scriptures on this. All right? So that's what we're celebrating tonight. We're celebrating the righteous vengeance of violence that the Most High committed against Nicanor and the Greeks that was coming up against Israel. This is 1 Maccabees 7 and 1 Maccabees 7 and 26. Then the king sent Nicanor, one of his honorable princes, a man that bare deadly hate unto Israel, with commandment to destroy the people. There you go. So how is he going to destroy us? With love and happiness? Right? This ain't Al Green. Love and happiness. Something that could make you do wrong, make you do right. Hey. No folly. All right, but how is he going to destroy us? With violence. But let's check out what happened. All right. So, 1 Maccabees 7:37. Thou, O Lord, didst choose this house to be called by thy name, and to be a house of prayer and petition for thy people. Be avenged of this man. What is avenge? It means to take vengeance for. So what? The Lord, the vengeance of violence, the Lord takes for. He may use us, he may use man, but it's by his hand. All right. It says, be avenged of this man and his hosts, and let them fall by the sword. Remember their blasphemies and suffer them not to continue any longer. So Nicanor went out of Jerusalem and pitched his tents in Beth Horon, where a host of the Syrian met him. But Judah pitched this in Edessa with 3,000 men, and there he prayed, saying, O Lord, when they were sent from the king of the Assyrians, blaspheme thy angel went out and smote 185,000 of them. So the angel of the Lord killed 185,000 Assyrians that was trying to attack the southern kingdom of Israel. You can read that in 2 Kings, the 19th chapter, I think around the 25th verse. All right. It says, even so destroy thou this host before us this day, that the rest may know that he hath spoken blasphemously against thy sanctuary, and judge thou him according to his wickedness. So the 13th day of the month Adar, the host joined battle. All right. Salakia Israel, 1 second. I'm here, y'all. Excuse me, Salakia. Got caught out in the rain today. I caught a little cold. Never rains in Southern California, but Salakia, I got caught in the rain a little bit. Got a little sniffles, but I'll be okay. I do apologize, y'all. Salakia. It says, even so destroy thou this host before us this day, that the rest may know that he hath spoken blasphemously against thy sanctuary, and judge thou him according to his wickedness. So the 13th day of the month Adar, the host joined battle, but Nicanor's host was discomfited, and he himself was first slain in the battle. Now when Nicanor's host saw that he was slain, they cast away their weapons and fled, and they pursued after them a day's journey from Edessa unto Gezerah, sounding an alarm after them with their trumpets. So he had all this hatred against Israel. It said he bare deadly hatred against us and said he was going to destroy us. But when a battle came, the Lord mocked him and had him get killed first. It said, whereupon they came forth out of all the towns of Judea round about and closed them in, so that they turned him back upon the sword, and not one of them was left. Afterwards they took the spoils and the prey, and smote off Nicanor's head and his right hand, which he stretched out so proudly, and brought them away, and hanged them up toward Jerusalem. For this cause the people rejoiced greatly, and they kept that day a day of great gladness. Moreover, they ordained to keep yearly this day, being the 13th of Adar. Thus the land of Judah was in rest a little while. All praises to the Most High, Mashiach Yahushua. Right? See that? Our land was in rest for a little while because what? We took back over rulership of the city and the temple. Right? Right? Yeah, I guess so. But anyway, we're not dealing with that right now. We're closing out the lesson. So yearly, the month of Adar, the 12th month, the 13th day of the month, we celebrate the day of Judas Maccabees' victory, his destruction of Nicanor and his army. Right? We celebrate a day of righteous vengeance by violence. And the God of Israel, the holy power of the Bible, Old and New Testament, he does believe in the vengeance of violence. And when it comes to defending his people, he's always there for us. Whether it's through violence, preservation, spiritual, physical, he's always there for his people. By Hashem Mashiach Yahushua. All right? So thank y'all for bearing with me. Salakia, y'all, about the last few minutes. It's still raining now, right? I thought it never rains in Southern California. But yeah, I was out and about today. I got caught up in the rain a little bit. I ain't had no umbrella. So I had to get up out of there, man, hop in an Uber. It was crazy, but I did get wet a little bit and Came down with a little sniffles, but I should be all right in the morning. I got a little remedy. But any questions or comments before we close out? Any questions or comments before we close out? All right, I guess not. So all praise to the Most High Mashiach Yahushai. Everybody again, don't forget to get your 2025 wall calendars. Not war, wall. Some of y'all think I be saying war, even though it is war, but wall meaning hang on your wall. All right, it's only March. We know 2 months have passed already, Salakia, but you still got the rest of the 10 months of the year. All right, you got the rest of March all the way to December. So get your 2025 Salakia feast day calendars, H.O.I. feast day, holy day calendars for 2025. All right. Inbox me or email me at houseofisraelnyc@gmail.com. All right. And everybody have a blessed day of Judas Maccabees. Have a blessed day 1 and day 2 of Purim. Tune in to the different lives and try to attend in the different cities that you're in. If you can't, keep it at home with your family and still enjoy it. Go over the story. Again, tonight, I didn't read the whole story. We've done that many years. First Maccabees chapter 7, Second Maccabees chapters 14 and 15. We got videos up. You can go back to the videos from 3, 4 years, 3, 4, 5, 6 years that we did the lessons. All right, tonight I just want to get into how, the Most High believes in the vengeance of violence. All right, it's just a handful of scriptures. There's many more. The Most High said in Psalm 60, we're going to do valiantly by his hand. All right, I'm paraphrasing, meaning we're going to do bravely because he's going to give us the power to destroy our enemies. All right, Ezekiel 25, 12, 14. See, we can continue on here because the scriptures can just come out. Right? Okay, you don't love me. You don't know me. Stop lying. See, you're already lying. You don't know me. You don't know me to love me. All right? So stop lying. That's typical white man, though. Just lie for no reason. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to get out of here. All praise to the Most High Mashiach Yahushua. I hope y'all enjoyed this short lesson. Again, please, Israel, forgive me. I'm a little under the weather. Don't mock me. All right? Don't make fun of me. I just still want to come on here. My zeal was turned up. It was late. Other brothers already did the lesson, but my zeal was still turned up to put something out. Put something out in the spirit. So, all praise to the Most High Mashiach Yahushai. Ashar Yawam Yahawara Makwabaf. Happy day of Judas Maccabees. That's what we call it, even though it's also known as Day of Destruction of Nicanor. But we like to name it after our forefather. So we celebrate on this night and the next 2 nights. And at all times, we got Passover coming up where, oh, how could I forget? But the Spirit have remember before I close out. Passover, we celebrate the righteous vengeance of violence against the Egyptians. Hebrews 11, when we crossed the Red Sea, we was fine. When they attempted to cross the Red Sea, they were drowned. The Most High used the water as a vengeance of violence, as a righteous vengeance of violence. And we can go on and on. As I keep talking, I'm going to keep thinking of precepts. But anyway, all praise to the Most High Mashiach Yahushai. Judas Maccabees destroys Nicanor, the vengeance of violence by Shema Mashiach Yahushai. All right, Ashar, Yawam, Yahawara Makwabaf. Happy day of Judas Maccabees 2025, so-called March 11th, 2025. From Elder Priest Sabak, my family, all of H.O.I, all the sincere camps in Yahweh and Yahushai throughout the 4 corners of the earth. Hope everybody enjoyed the nationwide fast that partook of it. I hope it was a blessing and an upliftment to you physically, mentally, and spiritually. And everybody stay blessed. Have a happy feast day season. Nicanor, Judas Maccabees, 2 days of Purim. All right, all praises to Yahweh and Yahushai. Kwam Yashala. Hallelujah. Elder Priest Sabak, H.O.I to them chariots fly. Only scream it if you mean it. All the camps in Yahweh and Yahweh Shai throughout the four corners of the earth. Kwame Ashala, we still got next. Hallelujah. All praise to Yahweh and Yahweh Shai forever and ever. Amen. H.O.I pull up, boys. All praises. Kwame Ashala. Shalom. Kun. Happy day of Judas Maccabees 2025. Kwame Ashala. Shalom.